interesting episode we got for you.
Just a little bit.
So I guess we'll start off by saying that this is the end of Cool Ranch Corner, but we're looking at several different types of content that we want to make together. So it's not the end of Danny Dorito, Kinger, and Genie Boy making content together. But there were several things that we talked about for 45 minutes before the podcast started.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those things were, one, Cool Ranch Corner, the name. My brother, who goes by Cool Ranch Chris, has expressed that, since he came up with that podcast name when we were doing it together, it didn't feel, it kind of rubbed him wrong that we kept using it. And so I get that.
Yeah.
And I mean, basically we kept the name just out of ease of not having to rebrand. So that's literally the only reason. Second of all, with everything I have going on besides the podcast, I felt like I didn't have enough time to devote to the podcast that it deserves. And because of that, viewership has been rocky, and I just feel like, I don't know, it's kind of a disservice to you guys for me to continue doing this podcast the way that we are. So we're thinking about doing a couple things. One, maybe a new podcast on its own channel that I wouldn't be doing all the work for, so it'd get a little more love. And then I want to do gaming related content together. So, we'd be playing Halo or Call of Duty and just shooting the shit, and it would get cut down to a 5 to 10 minute video, that we might release, once or twice a week or something on my channel. Along with my own solo version of that I want to do. I was kind of inspired by FaZe Jev and his style of video. So you'll see that soon. I'm just trying to get this last part of the vlog done. But yeah, we're not going to be posting Cool Ranch Corner anymore specifically. Because I also feel like having the podcast on my channel with all the other content that I do was also hurting it, because it's not, it kind of sticks out
too much.
Yeah, it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb amongst the other content I have on my channel. The G Fuel reviews, the vlogs, whatever else I'm doing. It just kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it's into it very well.
Yeah, we thought that it would be best to be on a separate channel altogether, which we were talking about earlier before the podcast too. A lot of people that do podcasts that also are content creators and have their own pages, they have a separate page for the podcast specifically. So that's what we think would be best. We all kind of agreed that we could at least do an hour. That was the biggest thing too, is time wise. Danny has a lot on his plate, and he's doing a lot. He does all the podcast stuff as well. I don't, as his editor, I don't handle any of that stuff. So he just expressed that it was getting too much of almost a burden in a way to him. So we're okay, well, we still kind of want to do the podcast though, so we suggested, we all came to the conclusion of let's have our own channel for it. And then I would kind of take over and do everything. But as long as we can keep it to an hour long episodes, I think that'd be right for you guys too. And you guys can, say in the comments too, however you feel about this, but I felt 2 hour long episodes was pretty crazy for us, because we're a smaller podcast. So, I mean, if we could keep them to an hour or even less, a little less, it's easier too for us, because then we can make clips for TikTok and grow the podcast more that way, instead of having to shift through 2+ hours of footage. So that was another reason why we kind of decided that. So also suggestions for the name of the podcast, let us know.
Yeah, what should we call it?
Figure out what we, I mean, what do you guys think? I guess it's good to get your guys' take on things.
I feel like there's gonna be some 12-year-old G Fuel boys or something in the, in the comments.
Yes. The Battlecast.
What the hell?
But I'm definitely pumped to do the gaming aspect too. It's kind of funny that we're all getting to the point of wanting to do that together as the trio here, because I've been wanting to make gaming footage or gaming videos as well for my other channel, my actual gaming channel. So this kind of works out if we're going to do that. Gives me extra content So that'll be cool.
So, yeah,
definitely looking forward to it. That's for sure. I think it'll be good content. We have a lot of crazy shit to talk about, and our gameplay is usually pretty sporadic and wild. So should be a fun time. Genie's little freak out moments are going to be great.
Yeah.
So, but it'll be cool to see it from all of our perspectives too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But no Battlefield.
No, I got a refund for Battlefield.
Zero chance.
I got a refund for it. I was literally like 3 minutes away, like having the game running from like not being able to get a refund. So I really dodged a bullet there. I would have been out like $100 or something, or $80. Dude, literally
3 minutes to spare.
If you play any more than 2 hours, Steam will like. I mean, I always select like Steam credit because I heard that like really increases your odds of getting a refund because like, oh well, at least the money stays on Steam. It's not they're not losing money.
Buy a game eventually.
Yeah. But the two things that they care about are whether you're gonna get it as like back to your card that you used to buy it or Steam credit, and then like whether you've played 2 hours or more of it. And I had an hour and 57 minutes of playtime when I looked. And I was like, no shit, let me get a refund. Because it's some bullshit, dude. It is such an unfinished game. Hours. They should have delayed it another year, man. Like it's I mean, look at Call of Duty. They finally they're like, you know what? You're right. These games need more time. And now it sounds like they're gonna do every 2 years. So
They're making shit different. It's been the same cookie cutter shit for quite a long time. Grand Vanguard has been pretty much a breath of fresh air, in my opinion. I imagine Danny, you feel the same way, Genie. But
100%.
For the most part, for the longest time, it was the same cookie cutter bullshit, and they just got $60 out of all of us every fucking year.
Yeah,
and didn't really make many changes, other than Warzone being introduced. But that's obviously had its own fair share of problems.
Yeah, so. I mean, Call of Duty is literally the game that like got me obsessed with gaming and like wasted all that. I wouldn't say wasted, but like that's where all my time went when I was growing up is towards like Call of Duty.
Mine was between Halo and Call of Duty for sure, as far as like a multiplayer aspect. I grew up more, so probably Halo. But
like when Christmas time comes, like now it's starting to feel like Christmas time, right? Because December's like today's the last day of November, but it just makes me think. It makes me think of playing Call of Duty, and like there's a pie in the oven or like Christmas cookies, fireplaces going, like that's the vibe that I think of Christmas time.
And it's got that winter chill, but you're just playing Call of Duty,
bro. Winter chill, bro. It's like a switch flipped all of a sudden, and it's like super cold, man.
The same way. I was gonna ask you guys how you guys were over on the West Coast. Florida got real chilly, man, during the nighttime.
I'm not on the West Coast.
Switch flipped.
I'm in the middle of the country.
He's in the Great Plains.
You're in Arizona, are you?
I'm in New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Oh, you're in New Mexico. That's right. Okay.
I'm right next to Texas.
That's right underneath Colorado, isn't it?
Colorado is, I think...
Because you said you were going to drive up, like, had you known that I was there.
Colorado, I think, it's like up to the right. So it's like to the northwest.
But you're right next to Arizona, right? Arizona, New Mexico?
I'm right next to the shitty side of Arizona, where there's like nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
He's in between Texas and Arizona.
I think
so you're technically not the West Coast. What would you be?
Midwest.
And Delaware.
Like the Midwest?
You'd be the Midwest?
Yeah.
Michigan.
It's like it's the middle of the country.
And it's the middle of
on the west side of the country.
Middle southwest?
There was no water nearby. I'm not on the coast.
Yeah.
The nearest beach is like a 20-hour drive.
I don't know. It's just weird because like Michigan's the Midwest. So it's like...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I went straight up, I would either hit Michigan or the state next to it.
Now I gotta look up a fucking map. You got me all confused. I haven't looked at geography in a
I mean,
Midwest
I'll be honest, man. Like,
more...
New Mexico is one of those states that like nobody even talked about until Breaking Bad. So,
right.
That's true.
Nah, bro.
Oh no, it's a little farther over. That's more
you
like
are right below Colorado.
That's
though.
Great Lakes.
I was right on that.
Okay, I am below Colorado. I was thinking of Utah.
Yeah.
So below Colorado.
And then you'd hit Wyoming and Montana if you were to go straight north. You have to hike a ways to get to.
I forget about those states. I'm gonna be honest.
Montana and the Dakotas, Wyoming.
That's like the Great Plains out there.
We need to go put a circle around this. Do we need this?
But I am like in like the middle of the U.S. I'm like barely in the middle, but it's considered like the Midwest, I believe.
Who's pulling up Discord? I hate that, dude. That sound haunts me in my sleep.
Which one?
What the
that Discord? No, dude, it drives me.
Oh
insane.
yeah.
And I swear I mute all the channels, and then there's one that just comes up, and then it's like spam, spam, spam. So, sorry, it's just distracting.
No, you're good.
So, what do we want to talk about? Because there's a couple topics I can think of.
So I think they just had a news drop for Warzone, bro. The Pacific map.
Yeah, I saw that little like Caldera. 1 minute video.
Isn't that supposed to come out first week of December?
That comes out in a week, yeah.
So it's like
tomorrow.
It's unfortunately dropping like the same time as Dying Light 2. That's why I was irritated earlier. I remember that now.
I haven't heard any buzz around Dying Light 2, to be honest. I feel like that game's like 5 years too late.
No, I'm glad they took the time to work on it.
Well, I thought the reason why it took so long to do it is because there was a lot of like switching, like what studio is working on it and stuff like that. And I think they scrapped all of it at one point.
I don't know the depth of all that.
It's been in development hell.
I hope and pray that it's amazing because the first one was so much fun. So I'm gonna be binge playing the fuck out of that game.
To me, it feels like a Division situation. Like people generally liked the first one, but the second one didn't change enough, and it came out like at a weird time. And I feel like right now is a terrible time to release a game because like all this stuff just came out.
I don't think it's gonna be like much different, but the aspect of Dying Light was different at the time. I mean, it was pretty much a step up above Dead Island.
Oh, come on, dude. Did G Fuel really just announce 2 flavors?
Oh, jeez.
I can't keep up. It's too much. We got
so many flavors every day.
Knocking this shit out as it comes in. We've been doing pretty damn good about getting the shit out. So
Jingle Juice, and Sugar Plum. 2 Christmas flavors.
Jingle Juice.
Okay, I'm gonna take a look at it because there's a wait list, and usually they have a description. I want a gingerbread flavor.
Jingle Juice sounds adult. I don't know. I don't vibe well with me.
I'll show you some Jingle Juice. Okay.
Oh god! I could have said.
Oh, and it comes out, dude. It comes out. They come out like a day after the Summit flavor. So Jingle Juice. It's got Santa's face on it. Oh, it's another reskin of Kiwi Strawberry. It's just it's a reskin of Kiwi Strawberry. Last year it was Ugly Sweater. I already have the flavor. So, and I'm not a huge kiwi fan when it comes to G Fuel. I think that's why I don't like Tropical Rain. Because I looked at the flavor profile today, and I was like, oh, there's kiwi in there. I think that's the aftertaste I don't like. Let's take a look. What's Sugar Plum? I feel like that could be a reskin as well. It kind of looks like Blue Ice, to be honest. Like the tub. Hang on, it's loading. Dude, I'm on the Wi-Fi. Why is this taking so long? What am I, back in 2005?
Dial-up internet. Need that 30 meg upload speed, right, Genie?
Bro, I was laughing my ass off.
So funny.
Oh yeah, thank you.
That stream was wild, dude. That fucking clutch win that Genie Kid got, that was insane. Like, I came in right at like the best time. You guys were just finishing that match, and I joined the stream and clipped that shit. It's like, it's so sick.
I gotta respond to his text. I keep forgetting to respond. He wants me to like edit that clip with him, but yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, that needs to be a TikTok. That was one of the most clutch dubs I've seen. Like, he got so lucky that kid in the back had no health. Otherwise, he had been shot up because he had the multiple shots on him from the back already.
Yeah.
So Sugar Plum looks like it's actually a new flavor. It's the sweet fruity candy taste, which is very vague. But the other one's kiwi strawberry.
Sugar plum. Okay. You know, I really liked Miami Nights. I really like it.
It's good, right? It's good. Yeah.
I finally tried Orange Vibe and Milk, dude.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Fire. Bro.
Absolutely fire. If Orange creamsicle to a T.
If I wasn't trying to get shredded and not have like an oily ass face, I'd be drinking Orange Vibe and Milk all the time.
Yeah. I thought it was crazy. You always said like you break out, and then I just recently started drinking like cow's milk again, just like because like my mom got stuff for cooking for Thanksgiving. I never drink cow's milk. It's normally almond milk. I've been getting zits.
It's like it's a combination between the lactose and then the hormones. And so I get that Fairlife milk, and so there's two issues with that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what's the issue with Fairlife, because you had said in the video, like I know some people have their views about that. I'm like, I've never heard of Fairlife in my life.
So Fairlife is a I guess like a brand that's owned by Coca-Cola, and there's like I guess there was a huge scandal that happened. Like, dude, I don't know why they made it. Like there was a couple issues about it. One, it looked like they were using illegal immigrants as workers. And they were abusing the cows. Like, they were straight up, like, beating the shit out of them and stuff. For, like, no reason while they're working with them. Like, being overly rough with them just because, like, they hate life. And, like, they're taking it out on the cows. That happened years back. But I feel like because it was Coca-Cola, it turned into, like, a hush-hush, under-the-table, like, they got paid off and shit. But people still remember that. And so when they went, like, I made a TikTok, and people were like, is that Fairlife milk? Don't use Fairlife milk. Boycott Fairlife milk and all that stuff. And I'm like... I don't know what's going. I don't know what's going on with the.
Hop on that shit immediately. It's like, how do you guys know all this shit?
So the way I looked at it though was like it wasn't necessarily Fairlife the brand who's responsible, but whoever's like overseeing the farms and hiring the workers. Right. You know, but like there's videos of like these Hispanic guys, like I mean they're cussing in Spanish and hitting cows and stuff. That's literally like what I saw. And I don't know. I forgot where these farms are at. I can't remember. But
I think now that it's definitely like some shady stuff going on. Like a clip or something going around years ago, and people were like, complaining that they were being super abusive to the cows. I remember something like that. I just never put two and two together with like Fairlife as the name or whatever.
But I just remember saying that they were saying that, like I watched a YouTube video where someone did kind of like a little investigation on it and like why all of a sudden like nobody was talking about it. And it sounds like because of the migrant worker stuff and like some other stuff, like it was very like shady and kind of, under the table stuff going on to get that like kind of like out of the news. And so like really weird, really shady. I would like to think that, they fix some stuff, but who knows? All I know is that it's the only milk that I can find that is supposed to have like way less hormones in it, and it's lactose free, and it tastes like regular milk to me still. So I don't know what to do. Like that's the best way to review G Fuel flavors for me is to use that milk specifically, or else I got to use like plant-based milk, which makes the G Fuel taste weird as hell. So I think I just have to bite the bullet on that and just use Fairlife milk. But I mean, if I drink a lot of it, I still like break out a little bit. But I've just noticed if I drink straight up like
not as much.
Yeah, if I just go like a gallon of like Shamrock Farms milk, like my face just turns into like pizza face, man. It's bad.
Is it a milk thing or a dairy thing?
It has to do with the lactose and the hormones like together. Like they just cause my skin to be really oily. And I looked it up, and they say that like a huge amount of the population has that issue. And like if I were to go see a dermatologist when it's happening, that's the first thing they would tell me is stop drinking milk.
Wow.
Yeah, there's just so many hormones in it, man. They pack these cows full of hormones so that they'll mature faster, so they can produce milk sooner, and then they do it so that they produce more milk and more often. So like it's pretty messed up, man. Like those cows probably have all kinds of nasty stuff going on in their bodies, and then as soon as they can't produce milk anymore because like they can only do it for so long until their bodies just like can't do it anymore. Right. Yeah, like I mean, I've heard all kinds of different things.
Like the meat products too, like what we eat. It's like, man, how much shit's stuffed into them too. You ever see like what they do to chickens and shit to make them more like plump?
Yeah,
and, like all that, yeah, with all kinds of shit. It's like we're eating.
Yeah, that's
it's so scary.
There was that documentary that came out on Netflix, I think. I can't remember what it was called, but it was.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Everybody was saying it's like vegan propaganda or something, right? Because like it was just shitting on the meat industry. But they were talking about how the issue with farming and stuff like that like had to also do with what the cows were eating. But like, I mean, they feed them like grains and stuff like that. So it was like, so the animals themselves, the livestock, they're having an issue with the vegan diet.
Right.
You know, like they don't get enough protein and stuff. So then they have all these problems. And so they just pump them full of more crap to like deal with those side effects and stuff. It's a nasty industry, man. But we don't have a solution right now. Like there's too many people and the population is growing at a rate that is not sustainable for the long term, you know. Well, honestly, man, we're kind of lucky because like literally we're like, you know, one of those generations where it's like we're gonna see like the last of certain things because like they just overproduce and farm the shit out of it to the point where like stuff won't like grow anymore. Specific things, you know. I mean, like, have you seen was it Interstellar? They kind of that was the issue. Was it like with the farming and stuff like that? Like the soil was just so deprived of like nutrients that plants need to like grow that like they can only grow corn anymore and stuff. And like that's literally where we're headed.
I think we're definitely living in like a pivotal point. Like, there's a lot of shit that's going to change within the next few years, and like
I mean, they've pretty much said
it's changes, honestly, especially in this country alone.
Yeah. But I feel like a lot of the scientists now are saying that we're at a point where there's like no turning back, but we can slow things down, but like we're kind of screwed. Like when scientists start talking about like solutions, they're like, we should start looking for another planet. It's basically what it's turned into.
Don't you think it's crazy that like Jeff Bezos stood down so he could start working on that, and then also Elon Musk has been working on a way to get to Mars? Like, does anybody? Once I realized that Jeff Bezos, that was like one of the main reasons he quote unquote stepped down from Amazon. I'm like, that's it's a little interesting there, guys. Two of like the most wealthy motherfuckers that are running this country, pretty much as far as their products and businesses go. They're looking to get the fuck out of here and get to Mars. It's like,
I mean, dude, they talk about a lot of stuff behind closed doors. Scary. You know, like stuff that like they don't want the public to know because it would cause like panic. You know, if they were like, we have like 80 years left before the planet is like hurting for resources and like you can't even like make gasoline for everybody's cars anymore. Like,
I'm out.
I don't know, man. That's the thing too. Is like as technology is getting better, the life expectancy is like expected to like double or something like that at some point.
You think so?
I don't know if it'll happen in our lifetime, but like, I mean, they've already been able to like de-age mice, and like that's huge. Like that's like the first big step.
Would you want, like, that's a question too. Like, would you guys want to live longer than what we're already set to like live at?
Only if I can live at like, because like there's been shows and movies. Yeah, there's been shows or movies where it's like you're stuck at whatever age you're at, but you don't age anymore, and it's like, well, that's kind of like a gamble. Like it just depends on when it happens, you know.
Oh, if I could stop aging from here on out, set. Rest of the life, if I could, but I lived off like a normal amount, like the 80, 100 years, whatever our expectancy is. Like, sign me up.
Yeah, I don't care so much about
here at 28, please.
I don't care so much about living past 100 as I do like being healthy and able to still like go for a run if I wanted to, you know, because a lot of old people can't do that.
Isn't it crazy how a lot of us are like, nah, we're good at about 100 years. Like,
well, I mean, dude, like you watch those interviews where people talk about like these old people who are like, you know, living to like record ages, talk about like life and stuff, and you always hear them saying like how depressing it is because like all their like most of their family, most of their family's dead, all their friends are dead, and like they're just kind of like
frail as fuck.
They're like waiting to die, and like the only reason why they're not dead is because like they don't think, you know, obviously they don't believe in like offing yourself or like
you're just living out your normal
euthanasia life. You know, so it's like like, dude, that reminds me, man, because TikTok, there's some wild stuff going on TikTok, man, and like you can easily go down a rabbit hole about some of it. Like, did you see there was a video where like this guy, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but they're dressed like a girl but look like a guy, and they're like dancing in this. You saw that? I haven't looked into it too much.
Shack, like the scary place.
Yeah.
Do you guys follow the guy that is like older? He has the gray beard, his hair's slicked back, and he's just like looks like a fucking Viking, damn near.
That sounds like a couple dozen people I've seen on TikTok.
But he's like one of the guys that mainly talks about all the crazy shit that's going on and tells them like how fucked up they are. He puts these people on blast, and he's actually like the reason why a lot of people find out who these people are. Like if they're being Karens or if they're being racist and all this stuff, he puts them on blast, and usually like they lose their jobs and like all kinds of shit happens to them.
Yeah.
He's very notorious. I just seen a video where he was talking about the guy that dresses up as a woman. He doesn't consider himself trans though. I went to his page and he says 30-something-year-old male.
Yeah. I saw a lot of conflicting
stuff. Has been dressing up since I was a kid. So he just likes to dress in women's clothing, but he doesn't, in his mind, I'm going to say his mind because that's what he goes by as a male, consider himself transgender, but he dresses in women's clothing. Hey, whatever floats your boat, buddy. But he's gotten a lot of backlash for it because a lot of people, he looks like he's, I'm trying to say it in the nice terms and respectful terms. I guess in other people's eyes, he looks like he's just kind of like been through rough times, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like he's getting a lot of backlash and people are making jokes about Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah. All kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Relating to what he looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's getting a lot of backlash, and he's just trying to fucking live his life and dance on TikTok. And he found a platform where he thought he might be accepted. And now, because there's a fairly decent chunk of TikTok, it's a bunch of fucking assholes.
I mean, that's just the internet.
Feel that way anymore? That's the internet. Yeah. That's what a lot of people think. People need to understand, especially if you're a little softer. You understand that the internet is the fucking internet, and everybody and their sisters on there. With all kinds of different opinions, views, outlooks. It's not a safe place.
I know you're trying to have a serious moment, but like, it's just, I keep seeing the videos where people green screen themselves into his video dancing. And like, I just saw one where it's like a chihuahua just sitting there. Like,
I'm not for one of them like making fun of people because I don't like that.
It has nothing to do with that guy. It's just funny because it's just all these random ass people.
Funny with the dance. Yeah. Somebody did one where he was doing I forget what it was. It was the main country song, the girl song, like they get all hype. I forget what it's called. But somebody just green screened them in and they were doing like mosh pit dances.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I saw one where it was like a chihuahua, and like the way that they green screened the chihuahua in. The chihuahua was like 3 times bigger than any person in the video, so there's just like a giant ass chihuahua in the middle, and everybody's dancing around him.
No, dude, I want to learn how to green screen shit so bad. Like actually clip around like an object and green screen it in, because like a lot of the green screens effects I use for Danny, I find on YouTube. Because I don't know how to fucking go around and clip all that shit, but I would love to. Because there's so many videos I would love to add in as green screen keys, but I just don't know how to like go around the figure.
And there's the one guy who's doing the dance that I can't even explain the dance, man. Like there's always you always see the one person with him. But like it's like I think it's a girl with like long hair, and she's doing this weird ass dance, and it looks like something out of Fortnite. It's so funny, man.
Right.
It's so funny.
Probably is one of the Fortnite dances, like the OG ones.
Yeah, like when it was really blowing up, and like I would scroll, and like every like 10th video was like another one, and like you would see like some people added one, and there was like already 10 people in it. Some people started over. It was just really interesting seeing the different ones. I saw one where the guy's just standing there like with his hands in his pockets, like where the fuck am I? Like just random stuff, man. And that song, yeah, it's funny. But I was also gonna say, I saw, I forgot why I brought it up, because I was gonna bring that up and then I thought of that one. What were we talking about before I brought that up?
Trying to like like go down a rabbit hole on TikTok because there's like a lot of like dark shit.
Yeah, there was a couple. I can't remember which video specifically I was thinking about, but
there's like a lot of crazy shit going on TikTok too.
All these rabbit holes. I saw one where this lady's like, she goes on for like almost a full minute saying like, do not stay away from crowds, don't do this and that, and she keeps saying something about a download, and I'm like, what is this? What is she talking about, man? Like, and then finally at the end, she's like, I am a psychic medium. Please don't like take it seriously. This, and I'm like, oh, okay, but like it's because she goes on like it's one of those like impending doom ones, you know, where it's like, oh, what is she talking about, you know? And then you get to the end, you're like, oh, it's just some crazy person.
I also hate the fact that people do that shit when we're already in like such a fear.
Oh yeah,
like for the country, it's like they're now we got a new fucking variant.
What's it called again?
Some
Omicron.
Most random shit I've ever
heard
of. Like, what the hell? That sounds like something out of fucking Resident Evil.
I'm pretty sure somebody said it was like the race of aliens in like Futurama or something like that.
Dude, it's just shit. Like, when's enough? Like,
it was just a school shooting at Michigan.
Yeah,
I was gonna bring that up. I was just waiting for the time because I'm from there, so I was waiting for a moment to transition to that. Shooter's 15 years old. Oxford High School. Oxford, Michigan is a small town.
Yeah.
3 people are dead, 6 are injured. And that's crazy.
Yeah, not a ton of details yet, but
no. They're doing a sweep of the school right now. There was a mom that posted on my friend's something that she's seen, because we're obviously a lot of people I have on Facebook are from Michigan. And she said they went and got their kids early because they seen all the police running to the school. I mean, it's a small town. Like, you know, like if police are rolling out in numbers like that, something's happening. So they kind of got their kids out of the school or whatever. But yeah, they were doing a sweep. Shooters in custody. But 3 are dead. 1 was shot directly in the face. That was.
we don't need to go into details about how they. Yeah.
But it's just like, it's sad. He's 15
years old. I mean, it's sad.
Like, that's
like
15.
Obviously, I don't like it goes into politics talking about gun stuff like that. So like, I don't want to get into it too much. Like the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. The Kyle Rittenhouse thing. Like, there's a lot to say about that, but I guess the basic feeling I have about that whole situation is that I think he was looking for trouble. He got he got what he asked for. He got trouble. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't think it's right that like he decided to like, you know, go looking for trouble and all that, and then that what happened. But the way that they were prosecuting him was definitely, I was like, if he doesn't win this case, like, it just shows how messed up our system is, because like they made it seem like he purposely, like, you know, the way that it went down, like they just tried to make it seem like he was unprovoked and just shot some people. But like, I mean, one guy was trying to take his gun. The media
definitely twisted a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot of he said, he said, she said. I can't say S's with my aligners, which, by the way, 6 weeks to go. I'm ready for it to be over, because every time I switch trays, it feels like my teeth are getting ripped out. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I wonder, is that how people with Invisalign and braces feel? Do they go
it's
through
literally this. I talked to the dentist yesterday, because I went to the dentist for like the first time since I got out of the military, and he thought they were Invisalign. He was like, they look exactly the same. I would have never guessed. And then he like ran up through some ultrasonic cleaner thing for me, and I was like, cool, dude, thanks. And then dude, there, like, I'm not gonna like dox this dentist or whatever, you know. I don't want to do that, but like everybody there was really cool, except like the like overhead doctor, like the one that like has the final say for anything, like has the final opinion on stuff. And like this doctor, I won't say anything, but that doctor came in and was like trying to persuade me to stop doing this in favor of actually going through like their dentist and getting Invisalign. And I was like, why would I do that? It's the exact same thing, except I don't have to schedule appointments and pay for you to tell me what to do. and she didn't like this person did not like it. She didn't like it. Okay, there's he and she's. It doesn't matter for doctors.
No, because they're not getting your money.
Yeah, no. Basically, what I said was like, yeah, I kind of, it's like she went on this long rant about it, and I just kind of like, I just sat there and just listened, but I didn't say anything because I was like, there's no arguing with a doctor. They're gonna be, oh, I'm a doctor or whatever, and it's like,
it all just comes down to them not getting money in their pockets, and they're upset because something new came out that is getting rid of the middleman, aka them, and they're upset about it. Just like when fucking Uber and Lyft came out and the taxi drivers had an uproar because they didn't fucking get business anymore. Well, sucks to fucking suck.
She's like, well, we do the molds, and then one of our orthodontists takes a look at it, does that. I was like, they had an orthodontist look at my molds. And I was like, they did the same thing, and then she's like, oh well, when it's over, we'll give you retainers so it doesn't go back to normal. They do the same thing. It's literally the same thing, lady. And she and then she
you out of the fucking middle.
And then she proceeded to tell me that I have that I don't have any cavities, which is I'm surprised at 25 I still haven't had a cavity. And that the only thing she sees is that I have some like acid scarring on my teeth, which she's like it could be from a number of things. And she's like, do you drink a lot of soda? I was like, no. Do you swim in chlorinated pools a lot? No. Do you have heartburn? No. Do you drink like a lot of like citrus stuff? No. She's like listing all this stuff and couldn't figure out what it was, and I was like, well, I drink an energy drink and like that's powder.
Meanwhile, you're drinking
but she said
every morning.
She said she's like, well, if you're drinking something that's acidic, every time you drink it, you need to drink some water too to kind of rinse your teeth. And that's what I do. I pretty much drink both whenever I do.
That's even how I am drinking this twisted tea. Like if I didn't drink water right now, my teeth are like killing me.
Yeah.
Not killing me, but they feel weird,
And then this other dentist who was listening was like, well, like if I was coming in for cleanings every 6 months, that would probably help prevent it more. And then like, he was like, it could be like the toothpaste you're using. If you're using a whitening toothpaste, they're kind of abrasive. It's almost like sandpaper on your teeth.
That's what I use.
I do. So I'm going to stop doing that.
Do you feel like your teeth after you brush, they're like weird? They got like a weird texture to them?
No, it's not really. No.
Mine just feel like a little bit different than normal. They're not like, they're smooth and stuff, but like they still feel like they have something on them that's working to get them white, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like, obviously there's going to be a residue or whatever to try to, that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah. Well, and then, but she was like, well, then you must be a snorer. And I'm like, no, I don't snore. Like, she was just coming up with all this bullshit. Like it felt really weird. It felt like she was trying to like.
That's weird.
I don't know.
They were. Yeah, trying to get money out of you.
Yeah, and the other dentist was just like, yeah, no, it's probably this, and that, and like he was super cool. And then when he cleaned my teeth, he was like legit talking to me and stuff like that, and like seemed like a cool dude. Didn't try to bullshit me. He gave me a bunch of free stuff. He gave my wife a free like one of those like nice like electronic toothbrushes that cost like $80 or something like that.
Oh wow. Damn.
I was like, give me one of those. He's like, we're all out. I'm like, damn it. But he was super cool, and it was funny because when I was filling out like the little questionnaire thing that they give you, like if you're like a brand new patient, I was going down the list of like all this like they're like, do you have any of these like issues, and like or like if you have done any of this stuff in the past. And like the first thing was alcoholism, but for some reason I just read it as alcohol, like alcohol use or whatever, like something, because like in the military they'll be like, do you like when you go to the dentist in the military, they're like, do you drink alcohol? Do you smoke tobacco? Do you use tobacco products? Stuff like that. So I thought it was like that, and so like he's like working on my teeth, and then he's like, oh, I forgot, this has alcohol in it. You're not gonna like relapse or something, right? Like this and that. Like I could use something else. I'm like, oh, bro, I didn't mean to put alcoholism. I'm sorry, I'm not an alcoholic. I was like, I thought it, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm an idiot, man. I need to fix that. But it was funny. I was like, thank you for asking, though, man. Like if I was somebody who was, struggling or whatever, like yeah, that's probably a good thing to like note, But
yeah.
Dude, like the technology they have at dentistries now is ridiculous, man. They did like this 3D mapping of my teeth with some like crazy camera thing they put in your mouth, and like they were like, we're gonna be able to see like when you come back, how much your teeth have changed, you know, because of like your aligners and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty neat. But not only that, when they were like, because you know how they like scrape your teeth to get like the plaque and like stuff like off, right? Every time you go get them cleaned, he put like some kind of like I don't think it was Novocaine, but like whatever kind of like numbing stuff. He didn't like inject it. He just put it around my gums. So when he was scraping, it didn't like hurt when he like we had to get under my gums and stuff. I was like, bro, in the military, they're just like, sit there and shut up. And like, just like, they don't care if you're in pain or not. So I was like, dude, this is like, this is like going to the dentist is not that bad. I used to hate it, you know, but like, it was actually a pretty like, I thought it was a fine experience. The only issue I had from not going to the dentist for a year and a half, besides like the acid stain or whatever they said, which they said was only on the back of my teeth, which was really weird. I don't know. It didn't make a lot of sense to me what that lady was saying.
That right now, I'm like kind of like thinking about my teeth.
It's harder to get to the back of your teeth to brush.
Yeah.
In comparison to the front, you know.
I guess, yeah. I just feel like if it was an acid issue, it would maybe not as bad on the front of my teeth, but I feel like it wouldn't only be on the back. I don't know. Mm-hmm. She was like, well, I just letting you know because in like 20 years it could be an issue, and I'm just like, okay, like I guess I'll rinse my mouth and.
What'll happen in 20 years?
Like my like she said like the bones in my teeth could become like super fragile because they're exposed more from like my teeth being worn down from overexposure to acid. So, yeah, no, it was weird. It was weird. I definitely want to look into that more.
Shoving acid down. Well, mine got to be fucked then because I got acid reflux, heartburn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, I got
miserable. I'm scared to go to the dentist now.
I'm like, you're acting like my teeth are gonna fall out of my head, and you can't tell me why. You know?
Yeah, that's the fucking thing.
Kind of weird. Yeah.
That's another thing. People are so shady, Doc. Dude. This is a thing I want to talk to you guys about. So I think I talked about it on the podcast. I'm not entirely sure. I had went to the ER when I was in Colorado because my blood pressure was at critical levels.
Yeah.
Runs in my family, blood pressure, yada, yada. I got my bill a few weeks ago. Mind you, I don't have insurance because I work for Danny, so I would have to have my own LLC in order to have, which I'm working on, but I don't have, like a healthcare plan. So they sent me the first bill and it was about $360, which, mind you, this is what I did while in the hospital. They check me in. I go lay on a gurney or bed, whatever. They check my blood pressure, which is exactly what I was doing at home. So no different. I have a portable machine that I bring with me. Mm-hmm. All they did, nothing else. Didn't do anything else. Run tests, nothing. Blood work, nothing. They then, after a while, they just told me to like chill out and like relax in the bed. So I did that. And they monitored the blood pressure over and over again,
Relax.
They finally come in and they give me 2 pills. One was for anxiety, one was for blood pressure. Oh, sorry. My buddy's trying to call me when I'm doing a podcast. I don't know. He can see that I'm in a call. Yeah.
Like on Discord?
Yeah. Hold on.
Stop calling me, bitch.
Anyway, sorry. So all they did, monitor my blood pressure. I laid in bed, right? They gave me 2 pills, one for anxiety, one for blood pressure. Okay. Then they wrote me a prescription to go pick up from the doctor. That the whole thing for the blood pressure / anxiety medication, that kind of did both. That was in like a capsule or whatever, or like the you get a prescription of 20 pills or whatever it is. Cost me $22, no insurance. So they only gave me one of those at the hospital. I get the bill, $360, which is insane because like they literally did nothing. I had went in to an urgent care. Now, granted, this was an ER, I believe, that I went to in Colorado, and I went to an urgent care when I was in Michigan because I had kidney stones last year. So it got to the point where I thought something might be wrong with my kidneys, so I wanted to go in and get checked. They did urine samples and like all kinds of other tests, right? And then my bill was roughly about the same. So I'm like, damn, why is my bill so expensive? Now, granted, ER and urgent care like differ, but then yesterday I get another one from them, like another letter. Open up the first one. I'm like, oh yeah, $360 normal. That's like the bill. And I move the next sheet because there's a big stack of papers underneath. Move the next sheet. There's another bill, a second one for over $900. I said, in what world did me laying on a gurney for less than an hour and you giving me 2 pills that clearly didn't cost much, even without insurance? I got a whole thing of them for $22. How in the world does that cost me $1,200+?
Yeah, man.
Like, this is why people don't go to the doctor anymore. They tough it out. They do home remedies. They just tough it out and fucking might die instead of going to the doctor because the bills are so ungodly. Almost $1,200 for what I just dealt with. And like, that's like so minimal in comparison to what actually can happen in a hospital, right? Like,
yeah,
to lay there, test my blood pressure on a machine that's probably been bought and paid for 15 years ago, and then give me 2 pills that clearly didn't cost that much. $1,200 they want from me. I said, you fucking thought.
Yeah. I remember I got my hand x-rayed, right?
Yeah.
Because I had like an injury that happened when I was in the military, and like they called it a crushing injury because my fingers like totally could have got like crushed. And luckily, since my hands are kind of small, that didn't happen. I just had like some swelling and like inflamed joints and stuff. But they're like, all right, and then we're just gonna send this out for a second opinion. And I'm like, what do you need a second opinion for? I can I can see it myself and see that nothing's broken, dude. It's not rocket science, like,
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, fine, we won't do that. I was like, yeah, because I don't want to pay for it. And I know the military,
more motherfuckers.
The military doesn't, like, sometimes they won't pay for a second opinion and stuff because you don't need it. And sure enough, they fucking sent it anyways. And they were like, they wanted me to pay like $250 just for somebody to go, yep, nothing broken. Which I can tell myself.
They're like, nah, bro, I told you not to. So there you go.
No, I called them and I was like, look, if you want to sit on the phone and talk to the military or the VA about it, like, go for it. But like, I'm not paying this, and I don't think they are either. And I said specifically, do not want a second opinion. Like, there was no reason to send that. Like, that's on you guys. So somebody, Dr. So-and-so can pay the bill. I told them not to do it. And so they like left me alone because I was military. But like, they scam people, man. Straight up scam people.
Well, another thing too, if a lot of people don't know, if you ever go to the ER, or I believe in urgent care as well, it works, and you get a bill in the mail, call them and ask for an itemized receipt. Because out of all the bills I've ever received from an ER or urgent care, they're never itemized. So that means that they can literally go through whatever process they want and send you whatever bill amount that they want. So that $1,200 bill, technically, that I got, because they're 2 separate, we'll combine them. If I were to call them and be like, send me an itemized receipt, guarantee that bill drops to like $120, maybe even less, maybe a little bit more.
Is that what you did?
No, I haven't, because
you're going to.
I might.
Oh, you're gonna pay $900.
Yeah, I'm definitely not paying. I'm definitely not paying that. So
my wife used to work in insurance.
I'm trying to figure out.
She used to work in insurance claims at a hospital, and she was like, she said herself, she's like, people would call and be like, why aren't you paying for this and that? And she'll be like, well, like, your plan says this and everything, but they like did stuff that like has nothing to do with that. Like, that you need to talk to the hospital because they're charging you for stuff that they shouldn't. Like. Yeah. And not only that, but like, who charges $50 for gauze or something, like something like that. Right. And then
you always ask for itemized.
She said there was always a lot of cases that she would look and like they would be like, I don't know, a crazy amount of years old. Like, people just wait till it defaults, instead of pay it. Like, they'll literally like, they would rather have like literal debt on their record. That like, if the hospital wanted to, if it was enough that they were like gonna come after you, like if it was a couple $100,000 or something, they might come after you later on. But after so long, they just kind of like forget about it. Like, they act like it's not a thing anymore. I can't remember how many years it is. It might be 5 or 6.
Living in Florida as well, as they passed a law to where medical bills do not show up on your credit.
Yeah.
So not every state's like that. I don't know what other states are. I know Florida is, which is nice. It shouldn't affect your credit. Stupid.
The thing is the healthcare system in our country and a lot of other countries is fucked. But like, there's no solution to it that makes everybody happy, and so it just gets argued about instead of actually doing anything about it.
I guess I don't see like why we haven't incorporated what Canada does.
Because Canada saw major inflation after they did that. Like that's why a Big Mac costs like $10 there. Yeah, a Big Mac is like double the price. Just for an example, Canada's expensive, man. Everything went up in price.
I don't know if it's that crazy. I have a lot of Canadian friends, and they've never complained.
Because they're like that. That's just how it is there, man. Like if you, after a while, you stop complaining because it's just the norm. It's not like it happened like super recently.
Right. I don't know. I guess I would almost want to.
That's one of the reasons why they
pay
push
for more and then have like because you have free access to healthcare. I feel like that's like super important. And it's like, yeah, you could pay. I mean, but also at the same time, do you need to go spend $10 for a fucking Big Mac? Like maybe that's also a reason. Because like even on, you ever see their cigarettes on the back of their cigarettes literally show they will have like pictures and shit of what happens to your lungs and all this shit to deter you from buying them because of the fact that they offer you free healthcare. And then also like if you were to come into the hospital, you're not going to get prioritized over some. That's another thing that kind of works out in their favor too. Is like if you're a smoker and you're an alcoholic or all these other things, and somebody comes in that isn't those things, they get favorited over you because you chose to fuck up your own body. And they tell you, and they give you all those signs of like, hey, this is what it does to your body. So when you take advantage of our free healthcare that we have in this country, guess what? If you did that shit to your body, we're going to take priority over the guy that didn't do that to his body because he's just fucked up from something else.
And I don't know if I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think when they legalized marijuana in Canada, like a huge percentage of the tax on it like went towards healthcare. So that's one solution they had. I don't know why we don't do that here, man. Because I mean, Colorado has been putting a bunch of money into the school system.
Oh yeah, medical marijuana and all that. So many like
it's not even medical.
Things.
It's just recreational there.
Right, but I'm just saying like weed in general, it doesn't even need to be medical. I know I said medical. Weed in general has so many things that can help so many other issues. Like, you know, like you'd be prescribed 5 different pills, but you could just smoke some fucking weed or take an edible or whatever that could help you with those things instead of taking those 5 pills. But we're a heavily pharmaceutical country.
Well, I mean, that's part of the conspiracy as to why we haven't yet is because you can't patent a plant. That's what they always say. You know, like, what are the pharmaceutical companies going to do? Because, dude, like, look, if it was between having to take, like, a highly addictive pain pill to get through radiation every day, as opposed to just, like, smoking weed all the time to deal with which also helps with your, like, you know, your, the nausea and stuff like that too. Like it helps a bunch of stuff besides just pain. Of course you're going to take that, you know, especially since it's way cheaper, man. You know, like it's
it's a cheaper alternative and a quote unquote healthier alternative.
Yeah. I think there's definitely like there's definitely like a shadiness to the stigma around it. And, luckily I think during our lifetime, we're definitely going to see a huge shift. And like, I think it'll be just as popular as alcohol at some point soon.
Definitely. It's going to be normal at the table.
It's already.
I've honestly thought about just quitting alcohol altogether and just being like, I don't want it. I'm in the same boat. I think I might do it. Just say screw it. I don't need it. It doesn't do anything good for me.
I've contemplated doing 2022 sober.
I mean, I got what's it called? I got a little tipsy when I went to visit for Halloween. Me and my brother-in-law had some drinks, and I feel like I drank a lot of water, so I was fine. But he was like, "I'm not drinking the rest of the time you're here." He's like, "Cause that was a mistake." I mean, cause like we're like, "All right, we'll go get like." Dude, like this is literally the conversation we had. We went and got like firewood, and then we were like, let's get some beer. Like we're like, go get beer and firewood, and like so like we stop at like a 7-Eleven, right? And we look at the beer, and it was like a 12-pack of 12-ounce cans for like $10 or $12, whatever it was. And then it was like an extra 50 cents. 50 cents, that's it, for the 16-ounce cans. So it was like an extra 3 beers for 50 cents when you do the math, right? And so like, of course we're going to take that. And we're like, all right, we'll have like 2 or 3 and then we'll save the rest for like tomorrow or the day after. We finished the whole damn thing. we just smashed the whole thing, and then like, oh man, like I was like it was like 3:30 or something like that. We were just playing like Cards Against Humanity and like watching Step Brothers. It was fun, but yeah, I think that might be the last time I drank because it was just like, I don't know, man. Like, I think I have a thing on my phone because I was like tracking it.
The sober app?
No, the
or like
legal
addiction app.
What are you talking about? I don't know, addiction app. It's just a countdown on my phone. I have 3 things that I count down. One of them I can't say.
Is it like track that stuff? Like you could say,
no, it's not that.
Stop drinking this day. Okay.
It's literally just countdowns. So like I have something that's up in like 42 days, legal marijuana sales in 122 days, and then I can start looking for a house in 199 days. But as soon as like there's a dispensary like right there. Like there's a couple, like there's a lot around here. Usually states have them in like certain counties, but it seems like here in New Mexico they don't care. Like if I wanted to open one up next to a McDonald's, they wouldn't care. It seems like. I think there's literally one next to it. Yeah. In Colorado, they had them like off on their own like street. It was weird. At least where I was at.
Now they're all over the place. Like you could literally walk.
I was just there in July. I guess it depends on where you go. I think Denver is different. But
Denver's definitely different.
Yeah,
because there's literally one. I mean, fuck. We looked up one, didn't have what we wanted, so we went to another one that was like 2 miles down the way, maybe less.
Yeah,
maybe like a mile.
I was curious, and like when we were in, because we went to Colorado Springs, and I was curious, and I looked it up, and there was like none there, because I guess it's like a touristy area, so like they like decided not to have it there. But
makes sense.
All I'm saying though is like it's literally the difference between like, I mean, what, like a 6-pack is like $8-9, and like that's probably, I mean, depending on how much you drink, like for me, it's like if I'm gonna grab a 6-pack, I'm probably gonna finish a 6-pack. That's just always been my mentality. You know, it's like the perfect amount.
It really is.
So like a $9 6-pack, which is good for like one day, or one of those like marijuana vape pens that I've seen. That is like, it'll literally last you like, depending on how much you smoke it.
$40 cartridge and could last the whole month if you wanted to, or more.
More than, like 1 to 2 months, depending on how much you smoke. At my rate, it would probably be like 2 or 3 because I can't be high all the time. I'm too busy like working on stuff. So, yeah. Like I'm gonna do an audition just like stoned.
Yeah, the last few times
man, worth a shot if you're working out high. Maybe you can work high.
The last few times I drank, I had a rough time. So I was just like, one of the last ones I went out with my friends. It'd been a long time when I was with my buddy Logan, and everything was going good. Like we were hanging out with girls and stuff. He was hanging out with like his girl he's talking to, and she brought out like girlfriends and stuff. And then we were having a good time at the bar, dancing, doing whatever. And then all of a sudden a light switch went off for me and I blacked the fuck out. And I don't remember leaving the bar.
I mean, don't they have a, is there a term for like blacking out on marijuana? Isn't that a thing?
I don't think so.
I could have sworn there's a name. I don't know if it's blacking out. Like I think they have a different term for it, but it's just for like brown out. Like, what is brown out? Is that?
We call brown out like when you remember some parts of the night, but you black.
That's right. So like you're not fully blacked out. Yeah. Yeah. I think with marijuana, there you can get too high, and then you have like a really bad time dilation where like you can't feel like how long it's been, and so like that could lead to like sitting there doing nothing for like 30 minutes, which is not good for anybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could definitely do it. I guess
like
that's similar
stare at a wall.
Out,
But
what
the thing is
crazy.
But what I was gonna say is the thing is, it's like I'm pretty sure that could happen, and then like the next day you wouldn't feel anything. You know what I mean? You're completely fine.
Yeah.
Go about your day. Whereas with alcohol, you get blackout drunk the next day. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel like shit, and like your diet goes to shit. You ain't going to the gym. Like,
yep. Dude, blacking out's crazy to me because like this is the thing. A light switch went off when I was still out in public at the club. I was out. I was in autopilot. Lights on. Nobody's fucking home.
Yeah.
I'm gone. That's what's terrifying, because I could have done anything that night. Grant, I'm in good company. You know, one of my best friends, Logan, he's a firefighter and paramedic, so like I'm good. But like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But the thing is, too, what's crazy is nobody else around you knows that you're blacked out. Nobody else knows that you're fucking checked the fuck out. That's what's terrifying about drinking. And unfortunately, in the past year, I've blacked out quite a few times, which is nuts because I drink a lot. And granted, I fucking drank a lot that night that I went out. So the problem is it all just caught up to me, and then I was out. I don't remember the Uber ride home. And then the last thing I recall is that I went to the bathroom apparently and locked myself in the bathroom, and I puked all over myself because I physically, like, I sat on the ground and just couldn't get to the toilet, I guess. So then my best friend of fucking however many years had to literally strip me out of my clothes and drag me by underneath my arms to his shower so I could fucking rinse off. And then he put clothes on me and put me to bed.
You just reminded me of something.
That's how bad I was. So, and then the last time I just drank over on Thanksgiving, I was drinking Happy Dad seltzers, and I had the worst acid fucking reflux that I had in a long time. So I'm like, dude, at what point, not to mention the next day after the me blacking out and throwing up, my fucking car got towed.
Oh my god, dude!
Because I'm in my buddy Logan's apartment complex, and there's visitor fucking parking.
This is enough for I would be like, I'm never drinking again. This is not.
That's exactly why I'm at the point of like doing 2022 sober, because I'm fucking done.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about like, okay, like realistically, if I live to be like 80 years old, I'm probably gonna have, you know, a glass of champagne at a wedding or something at some point. Right. But like, I'm talking about like, I just like if I'm at a party or something like that, and they're like, you know, everybody's passing around drinks, like I'm just gonna be like, no thanks. Like it's not appealing to me. Like I don't want to like feel like shit for sake of having a little bit of fun. It's so temporary. It's just not worth it. Right. I would much rather just like whip out a vape, like a marijuana vape, and then
Dude, so I wanted to finish this real quick. I parked in visitor parking at his condo or apartment, whatever. Apparently, unbeknownst to me, and he didn't let me know, you have to have a guest pass in the rearview mirror dangling from it, as well as park in visitor parking. Each resident is given one guest pass. Well, guess who has that fucking guest pass? His roommate. So he should have his own and his own guest pass, but the way that works is they're not really meant to cater to people with roommates.
Yeah.
So Becca, the girl that my buddy's talking to, parked behind him kind of illegally because she's still kind of in the road that leads into the apartment complex. She didn't get towed. And her friend that parked in a fucking handicap spot and she doesn't have any handicap tags didn't get towed. But I got towed parking in the same fucking spot that I've parked at the last 5 times that I've went to his house. I get towed $185 that I had to pay to get my car back, and I parked in visitor parking, and I was sober because that's when I got there. I literally got there, parked, we went to dinner, and then we started drinking.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I was first, like my first year in the military, the apartment that I was living at, because it was like government leased housing, they called it. So like they pick an apartment for you and they have a contract with like the military. It was literally like a 2 or 3 minute walk from a bar. And so like people would, like my roommate was in a different department, same rank, but in a different department. So he had like a different group of friends than I did. And they would all come over and like crash there because they could literally walk from the bar and then like fall asleep on the floor. Like that's how much they liked getting drunk. And there was one time, it was somebody's birthday, and they like went all out. Like everybody was like stumbling through the door, couldn't really walk. And I remember I wake up the next morning to go to work because I had like duty on the weekend or something. And I'm like, hey, bro, wake the fuck up, man. You pissed on the floor. Like he literally like fell face down and like pissed himself. And I'm like, there is a huge piss stain.
Oh yeah.
Like you better go rent a fucking carpet cleaner, bro. Like I was like, bro, this is like
your
college's best friend. Yeah. We shared.
Not back in the military. It was a long time ago, like 6-7 years ago.
in college we had dorms that were literally 2-person per room, and then we shared a living room and kitchen. So 8 people in one dorm room, mind you. Well, obviously we all have friends outside of that. So my roommate in particular, his friend came over and he had went out and people were day drinking. I guess this was like a Friday or Saturday, I think. And somebody had apple pie moonshine. And I don't know if you guys know moonshine, but that shit's fucking potent and will get you hammered very quickly.
Yeah.
So he drank, somebody had a half gallon of apple pie moonshine.
A half gallon? God damn.
Gallon in this big jug. And he had drank a lot of it.
Apple pie, you think it's full of sugar too. Oh, God.
Of course, he stumbles back to our fucking place and he's like incoherent. Everything, he's fucked up. So we sit him on the couch, we kind of all go to our rooms, and then all of a sudden we hear him throwing up. Not only did he throw up when we all come out from our rooms, he pissed himself.
Yeah.
And threw up all over our living room. We had to then drag him into the bathroom and put him in the shower so he could finish doing what he did. We kept him upright, make sure he was safe, or as safe as he could be, to fight it out, get it out. But we then had to get every cleaning product on that we had and scrubbed our carpet. Granted, the carpet's like old ass, like thin ass, just it's enough to be carpet, basically tile carpet. You know what I mean? Like it's just thin. I had to scrub that all out. But man, when you piss yourself, you are fucked up. Like you probably should have went to the hospital if you piss yourself from being intoxicated. Like you probably have alcohol poisoning. That, even like me throwing up, like I can count on my one hand how many times I've thrown up from alcohol in my 28 years.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I probably, and even my buddy Logan, who's a paramedic and firefighter, was like, dude, do you want me to call my boys? Because like I fucking will. Like I was unresponsive. I was throwing up profusely. Like I was bad. And I just like hadn't drank in a while, but like I was like, man, I'm Irish as fuck. Like I drink a lot, and I did drink a lot, to be fair, but I'm like, it just hit me in a way that hadn't hit me in years.
Yeah, my 21st birthday,
it was very fluke.
My 21st birthday, I was like waiting for the Uber, like coming in and out of it, and the only time I was like coming out of it when I was like throwing up, and I was just like sitting on the sidewalk throwing up in my lap. I was so drunk, bro. I was like, and like, God, dude, just imagine the brain cells I killed that night, man. Jesus.
Yeah. I never got to tell you guys the time because this is after I joined the podcast, but my buddy Tyler got married this year, back in July, but in May we had his bachelor party in Nashville. First fucking night, I get plowed, absolutely hammered.
Plowed? I don't know if that's the right word, you want to.
What? Okay, you guys might take. We say plowed over here, okay? Like that's how
I'm like, bro, what happened to you?
I got plowed and I loved it. I loved everything.
Like we don't. It's like, hey man, you want to go to the bar and get piped?
Oh fuck!
See, y'all over there over on the West Coast, so we got a different lingo, okay?
What kind of lingo you got? Plowed.
Me and the boys are gonna get plowed.
Hammered, like you don't get plowed. Like you guys are fucked. Anyways,
people just say get hammered or get fucked up, man. That's like all they say. Or slizzard.
So
plowed. Damn, bro.
So apparently, my dumbass, I was drinking Dana White, the owner of the UFC's whiskey, Howlerhead whiskey. It's a banana infused whiskey. It's really fucking good. But we were all taking shots we were out with the boys, the bachelor party. We're all going hard as fuck. And I decided to, in the first time, in the longest time, because I'm normally a vodka drinker. I used to be a major whiskey guy, Jameson. I decided to drink whiskey the rest of the night. And apparently I turned into a UFC fighter myself. I wanted to fight everybody I fucking saw.
Man.
And my boys, I'm blacked out at this point. My boys had to, unfortunately, deal with that. But it never ended up being anything. It was more so me just talking shit to the boys. Like I wasn't actually like trying to start an issue with anybody. So that was cool. But then we go to the strip club. I don't remember the strip club because I was blacked out. I leave my fucking car keys at the strip club because they fell out of my pocket.
While you're getting plowed?
Yeah.
That's your thing, man. His is the biscuits. Yours is getting plowed.
Baby. Let's go. Shit.
Oh my god, dude.
So my keys literally fell out of my pocket at the strip club. So like the next day I wake up and like I wake up out of my bed and I'm like, A, what the fuck happened last night? B,
my ass hurts like hell.
I always, when I wake up, I check wallet, phone, keys. My 3 go-tos. Make sure phone's on the charger somehow. Always great when you black out and you still somehow plug your phone in. Cool. Wallet's good. Got my credit cards, debit cards, cash is it. We're good.
You just have somebody else's driver's license.
For my keys. So I freaked the fuck out. I'm like, boys, I was like, what did we do last night? So obviously I had to get the whole fucking, that's when you black out. You have to go to your friends and be like, hey, for the responsible adults that didn't black out last night, what the fuck happened? What did I do? Because I don't know anything. So they're like, yeah, by the time I also fell in a bush that night. That was fun. Oh
my God, dude. You had an eventful night.
Dude. First night in Nashville. First night in Nashville. We're going hard for the boys' bachelor party. So, come to find out, they're like, dude, like last thing that we did was go to the strip club, and then we came back. If my keys are on a Tickets to My Downfall MGK lanyard, it's black and pink, like you can't fucking miss it. So I was like, dude, like we gotta call around and see like what bars did we go to, whatever. Like we got my keys, and mind you, I drove from Florida to Nashville, so like I need my keys. So I called the strip club. They're not open yet, of course. So we wait until like 4 or 5 when they did open. Call them. They're like, you know, what do they look like? Whatever. I was like, you know, MGK. And they're like, yeah. Like Tickets to My Downfall is his last album. It's on a lanyard, long lanyard, black and pink. You can't miss it. If they're there, you know for a fact. She goes to the office, searches for him. Thank God finds him. So then we have to awkwardly drive up to the fucking strip club in the middle of the day and be like, hey,
like need GTA. My keys.
Dude, it was so funny. And then like chick ended up being cool as fuck. And then side note, it was random, but they had a mechanical penis that you could ride.
So you did get plowed
in the strip club. And guess what they named it?
Kyle.
Because this got brought up in
Oh my God.
Like hole punisher, because Kyle's known for punching holes in walls. They named it Kyle. The strippers at the club named it Kyle.
Oh man.
Funny. My name's Kyle.
We should probably wrap it up.
Crazy story.
But
what a way to wrap it up.
Yeah,
all right.
I know.
Punched a hole in the wall.
No, that's what Kyles are known for doing. Like they say, like the drink Monster, they punch holes in the walls. We have a bad rep. Cool. They named the mechanical penis that because hole punisher.
I've never heard of one of those. I thought you were just gonna say mechanical bull.
That's what I'm saying. No, they literally have it's like it was specially made for the strip club.
Is there a saddle on it? Like what?
Yes. Yeah. It's literally like one of those things you put a quarter in and you fucking get on.
What the fuck?
Funny shit. Never seen shit
the
like
last thing I wanted to mention was Genie. So I don't think I told. Maybe I told Kyle to watch it. Genie, Midnight Mass. Where are you at in that?
Yes.
I had started it before you guys, and then you brought it up, and I said I couldn't get into it.
Oh, that's right.
I'm on episode 4.
Okay.
I'd be down to give it another chance, though.
Bro, it just gets like, yeah, it's definitely a lot of talking, but like the mystery aspect of it was really interesting to me.
That's like the only thing, and I like, yeah.
And the acting, like the guy who plays like the preacher, his acting is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. He's great.
Like, anytime somebody else is on screen, I'm like, bro, go back to the preacher. I don't give a fuck about these two.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I liked it. I like how it was like a one-off thing, you know, like they didn't have to set up for another season or anything like that. It's just like its own self-contained story. Dude, the last episode is fucking bonkers, man. So much shit happens. It's crazy.
So you finished it already?
Yeah. No, I finished it about a week ago. But
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that this is the final moment of Cool Ranch Corner, but we'll have to come up with a name for the new podcast.
Nope.
The G Fuel Boys.
Any suggestions? Again, leave them in the comments.
We can't talk about riding mechanical penises and then put G Fuel in our title. That's a terrible idea. That's a one-way ticket to losing a sponsorship.
Depends on how lenient G Fuel is, though. Like
they're pretty lenient, but I think
when it comes to podcasts and stuff, like brands are typically fairly lenient.
I feel like the hole in the wall. What the? The Hole in the Wall podcast.
I'm just picking.
Yeah, we
references.
talk about like somebody's like the Hole in the Wall podcast. What do you guys talk about on there? Well, we talk about getting plowed. Bro.
I'm telling you, East Coast and West Coast.
I got some East Coast buddies. I'm gonna ask them and get back to you because I just that might just be a Florida thing, man.
No, like I'm from Michigan. Like we call that shit in Michigan too. Like,
I mean, people in Michigan are just as crazy for wanting to live there. It's so goddamn cold.
Yeah, and all we ever do is fucking drink. It's probably why I had the issue that I had for the longest time. I was never an alcoholic, but man, I could put down some fucking alcohol. But it's like that's all we did. Like growing up, like a movie theater was 30 minutes away, and a mall was 30 minutes away. And anything to do for fun was over 30 minutes away. So we just fucking got hammered at somebody's house, played beer pong. And
either of you guys get tickets to Spider-Man?
No.
I didn't. No.
I got tickets for not the opening day, but the day after. It's those sites. Like, I saw how fucked up the sites were. Just wait. And I was like, yeah, no.
I go see not as many people.
I want to know if, like, Toby and them are in it for sure.
They're for sure in it. I would bet money on it. I would literally bet like $1,000 on it. They're in it.
How is that even going to play out? Like now there's going to be multiple Spider-Mans? Like,
it's just this one movie and they're setting up the Sinister Six that Sony's doing and stuff. And then like, it's kind of like interesting because like they said there's another trilogy that they're going to make, but like they were really like weird about how they worded it.
So is this a standalone movie or does it tie in at all to any of the other ones?
It's the end of the trilogy that includes Homecoming and Far From Home.
Okay.
It's the Home trilogy.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. It's weird because how old is Tom Holland? Like early 20s?
Yeah, like 24, I think.
He said in an interview that if he's 30 years old and still Spider-Man,
25.
He said if he's 30 years old and still playing Spider-Man, that there's an issue.
Something's wrong. Yeah.
And from what it sounds like he's going to do 3 more movies. So I'm like, he's going to be 30 and still Spider-Man. Because it takes like 2.5 years to make one of these movies.
Yeah.
You know?
I respected that because it feels like the producers and all them are like using him then for like no, you will be Spider-Man. You will be on for 3 more movies.
From a career standpoint, I feel like that's him like maybe negotiating like you have to pay me more. But at the same time, like you could see how a lot of actors play one specific character. I mean, no offense to Robert Downey Jr. I love Robert Downey Jr., but you can kind of see how like he's trying to move on from the Iron Man image and it's not really working.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the problem too. It's like once you get known for a role and have multiple movies as that person, it's like you're just kind of known as that. I read
Matthew McConaughey's book and he said that he got trapped in the whole rom-com genre. Mm-hmm. Like literally like he would get like 200 scripts.
You mentioned genres too, yeah.
Yeah, he would get like 200 scripts sent to him, you know, and like maybe one of them or like 5 of those would not be a rom-com, but he wouldn't care for them. And then so he was like, he told his agent and his agent was like, no, what are you doing? Because obviously if he doesn't like make money, the agent's not making money. And so like he was like, no more rom-coms. I don't want to do rom-coms anymore. Like it's getting, he's like in a way he had done like 6 or 7 rom-coms in a row to the point where like it was easy to play that type of character, you know?
Right.
And so he's like, I want to challenge myself, so I want to do something different. And he said it was like 1.5 years or 2 years, maybe even 3. No, I think it was 1.5 years or 2 years, where he turned down every single script because all they wanted to do was rom-coms. And all of a sudden, one day, started getting different stuff offered to him.
Deals.
And then so like he started doing different types of movies, and then I mean, it's crazy because like it seems like every time he had something like that happen, like he just kind of like took a break and thought about it. And I feel like a lot of actors seem like it's one of those things where you're either the type of person who feels like it doesn't matter how much money you make, it's never enough, or you're the type of person who is like, I've got enough money to kind of like be okay for like 5 years and still live the way that I do. But hopefully something happens before then, so I don't, end up starting from square one, basically. And so for me, it's like I'm fortunate enough that I have this the content creation stuff. So if I go do like a role here and there and make a little bit of money, like I was talking to a buddy, I went and got coffee with another actor buddy, and I'll try to keep this short so we can wrap it up. But he was talking about how he's early on, and like he can see how like with my content creation stuff, like that's gonna help me a lot. Like he
of course,
like he hears people say stuff like, oh yeah, that one guy, like that guy's gonna like probably do really well because of his like TikTok following and stuff.
Well, you're already used to being in front of an audience too. I think that's huge.
Yeah, but just from like a career standpoint, he was like talking about how like some television show that he got cast reoccurring on, like his agent was basically like renegotiating for the next season, and he's like, it could be like $20,000 an episode for him. And I'm like, that's fucking wild, bro.
Wow.
And like it's not even like a bad thing to say, but like he's very new. Like he's not very well known at all. Like I feel like because he was in the newspaper here like once and stuff like that, like some people would recognize him from a certain show, but like to be like a year and a half, 2 years, and I would say 2 years, I think 2 years into your career, and I think he's like 22 or just turned 22 or something like that, and be making that kind of money from like the roles that he's doing. I'm like, dude, like it's like you don't have to be that successful to make a lot of money as an actor. And so like you can see why there's a lot of actors that never really like have like a breakout role, but seem happy and totally fine with it because they're making good money. Yeah. So, but I guess what I was trying to say is
like compared to some other jobs.
I guess what I was trying to say though is that a lot of people, it seems like when they get into acting, they get roped into these like typecasting type situations because they need the money and they have to. And so I think in my current situation, at the same time,
if you're good in a certain genre, like Jason Statham, for example, could you see him doing like a romantic comedy?
Oh yeah, I can see him doing a romantic comedy. I'm pretty sure he's done one.
I mean, but realistically though, he's known for action movies and he plays it very fucking well.
Yeah, but
he's one of my favorite actors.
But I guarantee if you asked him, like, if you could play a certain type of role, what would it be? He would come up with some off-the-wall thing because, like, at a certain point, people start saying things like they are about The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. Those guys are some of the most successful actors on the planet, sexiest men alive, stuff like that. But if you look at it, it's like every role, they're playing the same thing. Like it's Ryan Reynolds is like playing himself in every movie and stuff like that. And people are starting to notice that.
It though too.
Yes, but people are starting to say stuff, and it's like, and then he took a break. As soon as I started seeing that in the news, he's like, I'm taking a break. And I'm like, see, he picked up on it.
He got
and
very
The
true.
Rock is one of those guys where I'm like, the guy is like, got things being handed to him left and right, but I feel like at a certain point he's gonna be like, fuck it, I want to do like an Oscar worthy role, because that's the ultimate challenge, yeah. So but that's the type of stuff I think about is because like that started early on, like Ryan Reynolds and them, they got into a groove and then like they just kept taking those same roles over and over, and then now it's like hard to get something other than that, because like from the agent standpoint, they're like, hey, this is working, you're doing well at it, you're making good money, I'm making good money, why would you stop? And so like I said, I feel
Jim Carrey
like
feels that way too because he's always like more of a comedic aspect in a lot of movies. I think he could do a lot of serious stuff too because he did the Truman Show.
Oh, he's done some serious stuff, but he said so himself that he feels like at a certain point it became like challenging himself, and he didn't like where he went. Like he didn't like where his mind went when he did that. And I mean, you can see it like with his painting and stuff like that. Like that guy's definitely like, he's a little out there now. And it definitely has to do with like some of the roles he did.
Bro,
the Grinch movie sounds like pure hell. he said he was like claustrophobic as fuck in that thing, and it took like 6 hours to do the makeup. And then like the days, because it takes so long to do the makeup, they would go overtime all the time trying to get as much time out of that one session of makeup, you know? So like he was in that suit for like fucking 14 hours a day.
I like that when he did the
months.
Wasn't he always in a mask setup? And
but that was like, the thing was like he said it was like, it was like wrapping your body in carpet. Like it was just not comfortable at all. Very claustrophobic. I'm pretty sure he even said that he had like an ex-Navy SEAL guy come in and like teach him like how to go through torture, because that's basically what he said it was. It's like torture. He's like, I don't know if I can finish this movie, and so they had a guy come in and basically teach him how to go through it because it's that shitty.
What's crazy too is he ended up killing it. That's like the Grinch is a great movie.
Yeah, you can't see anybody else playing the Grinch for sure, but
that's what I love, when actors kill it to the point of like you couldn't see anybody else, like Heath Ledger doing the Joker. You couldn't see at that point after him. You couldn't see anybody filling those shoes. And quite honestly, nobody really has filled his shoes since.
I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos when I'm at the gym, like on the treadmill, that have to do with like acting technique and stuff like that. But I feel like I've gotten to the point where I've watched a lot of it, and like not only am I kind of tired of watching the same subject all like a ton and stuff like that, but I started looking more into like the history of acting and like James Dean, Marilyn Monroe, like Marlon Brando, those guys that are considered like the people who made acting what it is now, and like how they changed acting altogether. And it's really fascinating, man, because you go back and look at old movies and everybody was trying to play like a polished version of themselves. So like it was very wooden and like very like over dramatic, you know, and stuff like that. And just it felt very rehearsed the way they did it. And then people like James Dean and Marlon Brando and all them, they came in and they acted like real people, and like everything felt real. And then that led into like method acting, but like you kind of only hear about method acting when somebody either goes too far with it or they play like an extreme asshole in a movie. You know what I mean? Like they play like a really crazy person, like Daniel Day-Lewis. You know, he's really famous for like There Will Be Blood and stuff, and stuff like that. But it's just fascinating to me because listening to like Will Smith talk about method acting and about how to become a character in that sense, you lose part of yourself. And if you do it too much, there's like none of you left. That's scary, man. Like you can see how people go crazy doing that.
Oh yeah.
And like Heath Ledger, a lot of people say that it was the method acting that did that to him. But they said that that was kind of over dramatized. It was really just he had really bad insomnia, and like one night he just went a little too far with the pills, is what it seems like. But then because you know it happened like months after shooting his role as the Joker, everybody was like, he went crazy playing the Joker, you know. But no, it's to me it's fascinating to look at like actors and the way they do it and what makes them great and stuff like that. And it really seems like, and I mean, I can't say shit because I haven't been anything like that, you know, but it seems like soon, yeah. It seems like acting is one of those things that you either understand or you don't. And I think I understand it to a certain extent, you know, whatever my level is right now. But I do feel like with the right amount of experience and training, you can become really good, you know, maybe not necessarily like the next Leonardo DiCaprio or something like that, but it really just all depends on how much you want to do it. And that's with anything, like I've said time and time again.
Yeah, how much time you're going to put into it, your craft.
I think it's a lot of relationship with yourself, you know, and how you like, understand yourself and know yourself and like get why you feel the way you do about certain things and like relate that to a character and stuff. It's very like internally therapeutic.
You really have to like let go of that voice in your head that says no, do this, do that, because it's trying to your brain is always trying to play things safe. It always wants to make sure you're comfortable, and like as soon as something stresses you out, it's like let's run from it. You know what I mean? Like and so like when I've talked to people in my acting class, like, you know, while we're acting and stuff like that, it's always like they're too much in their head, or like that sounded stupid to them and this and that. And it's like, that's all just yourself. Like, it's all self-doubt and like being afraid of doing the wrong thing. But if you think about it, in movies, like, you're watching people, like, movies are interesting because it's people doing the wrong thing and then facing the consequences and having to fix it. Like, that's just stories in general. It's all, that's a conflict and problem solving. That's why we like watching stuff, Like, if Walter White in Breaking Bad had that one run-in with like the cartel and like been like, oh, I'm never doing that again, like, the show would have sucked after that. You know what I mean? But he continuously kept making the selfish and greedy wrong decisions until he spiraled to the point where like people started dying that he cared about. And like, so you have to get comfortable being wrong and being embarrassed and looking like an idiot and that stuff. That's a huge scary thing to face. It's like kind of facing your fears in a way. Yeah, I feel it though, man, because like I'll talk to people in public and like it's interesting because like they always want to know like what do I do for a living or something like that, because it's like, I don't know, I feel like I carry myself differently after the military and after learning, like, taking acting classes and learning certain techniques and stuff. It's definitely and with the content creation, being on camera and stuff like that all the time, I definitely feel like it's I guess I have more of a feeling of like not really giving a fuck what people think, like if I walk through a door and trip and fart or something like that, like I would be like, that's really embarrassing, but I would just be like, excuse me, I'm human, what am I gonna do about it? I can't, like, who I am? I can't go back in time and not trip and fart, just gotta move on, laugh at it and move on,
Yeah.
Oh, Chipotle, man. Sorry, and move on.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I wish I had this type of confidence and like, I don't know what the word is for it. Like, being comfortable in my own skin. I wish I had that when I was in school, man. Because when I was growing up in school, and I think that's just a part of growing up is learning that. But like, you care so much about what people think and. Like going up in front of the class and presenting a project and saying something stupid, and then like you go sit down after your presentation like, I'm such a dumbass. I repeat to myself so much. I sound so stupid. Like, you're like, I beat myself up so much in school, man, about stuff like that.
Dude, I relate to that so strongly, and I think it's just like a matter of just like satisfying yourself and like being like, you know what, I am the person I want to be, and I'm going to be even better than I already am. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's a self-mastery thing.
Yeah. I mean, you're just giving yourself unnecessary stress. Yeah. And that's not good stress. Yep. Like, there's good stress and bad stress, and I would consider that bad stress. Good stress is stress that challenges you and helps you grow. Beating yourself up is not going to help you grow. That's just going to make you more scared to take risks.
What helps me is like, it's kind of like like my girlfriend says it's a negative way of thinking, but like this is just like natural for how I think. But like the analogy you said in class, like the kids that would go up and knock it out of the park and like just have this unending confidence in school and just be like the masters of everything, tend to be now, from what I saw, like the kids that I would fear are those people who have now become what I was in school, except in their adult life, where it's like, not confident, kind of stuck in the same place, not really doing anything, walking into rooms and like tripping and farting would like be the end of the world. But like,
I'm never gonna live this down.
Yeah, exactly. And
you're gonna call me fart boy.
Yeah. Yeah, but it gives me more confidence to be like, well, I'm glad I like was able to learn from that back then and kind of grow into it now. People who like peaked in high school, like peaking in high school and peaking in like college is like a real thing.
Yeah, dude.
And, like, that's so.
It sounds so bad to say, like, damn, that person peaked in high school, but it's true, man. Like, some people just, as soon as like the leash gets taken off and like your parents are like, all right, now go into the world and like do things, it's like some people just don't know what to do when somebody's not telling them what to do, or it's not as simple as just like pleasing people and like making people laugh in class. Like as soon as it turns into like actually having to like, I don't know, like work at a store and somebody comes in and is like, oh, this gas pump doesn't work, and having to like communicate with that person like what you're gonna do about it and how like it's not your fault and stuff. Like some people can't do that, man. They're just like, where's the manager? You know, like have a panic attack about it because they just like they don't know how to like talk to people normal. You know, or like they're worried about saying something stupid or their boss getting mad for them saying the wrong thing. You know, but it's just like anything else. Confidence comes with repetition, man. You gotta just get out of your comfort zone. And I still have moments where I get nervous. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like an expert or anything like that. If somebody was like, hey man, you're gonna go do this little one line with Leonardo DiCaprio, I would shit a brick. You know what I mean? Like if somebody told me I had to go like say a line in a scene with like some big actor, I would be like, holy shit, man. Like what if I fuck up? And then like they're always gonna remember is that one guy who said like, you know, this bullshit line and couldn't even do that right, you know? Like it's scary, bro. Like it's all relative.
When you grow up, I feel like it's you kind of realize like what you really, really care about. And it's like, yeah, if you were to be on that set with DiCaprio or in like that kind of environment where acting or something you truly care about, like artistically, is not at stake, but just, you know, in the spotlight, it's very that kind of confidence thing comes back, I feel like, from school. But like there is moments where like when you break through that, you just become so much better. Like me, like I get in the average environment, like so in high school, if I was to go to like a party or something or like be in a social setting, I just couldn't handle myself and I would just be like very awkward and very silent and shit. Now it's like the average social circle, like I'm just like fine and I'm chilling in. But that new scare thing is like elite LA people that are like, oh, you have managers, and like they're all like gossiping about like celebrities and shit that they know personally, and like I won't name names, but like I was sitting around this bonfire and someone was like talking about like Kathleen or something, George Lucas's daughter, I don't remember her name, but they were just like talking on like first name basis. I was like, wait, oh, they're talking about George Lucas's daughter. Oh yeah, because they're like best friends and they're hanging out. Oh yeah, and they're like texting. Oh yeah, of course. No, that's normal. But like it was just so very like those environments and stuff are.
Yeah, I get that. No, especially with like the film and TV industry. Like, I mean, Kyle, it's no joke, man. Like you could literally be like, oh, I want to be a production assistant. Next thing you know, you could be on a set in a couple months with like some big ass actors, and like you're like, it's so weird to be around somebody that you know is like famous to an extent, you know, like you're like like that person, like people care about what that person does and says all the time, you know, like it's weird to be in the presence of somebody like that. Like Joe Rogan, like being like a foot away from Joe Rogan, I'm like, this is just like surreal, bro, you know, like he does, like to me, I'm just another face in this crowd, but like it's so weird, everybody here is like losing their minds because they're like, Joe Rogan is right there, you know, like that feeling is weird. It's weird.
That's how I felt hanging around MGK and NF.
Yeah.
NF's a little bit different because like I grew up with him, but even MGK though, I've been around for over a decade with him too, and seeing his growth and everything, and it's always still cool to be around him, you know.
Yeah. I mean, like the way I look at it is, on a set, you have to kind of just treat it like, you know, yeah, you might be excited because like, you know, there's this big like Will Smith's there, but at the same time, it's just another day at work for everybody else. You got to remember that.
And him too.
Yeah, they're just normal people, honestly, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They just have a lot more money than you.
I was going to say earlier, I was laughing to myself because I was like, yeah, if I had this type of confidence in school and somebody laughed at me tripping and farting, I'd be like, hey, you better watch it or I'll go fart in your mom's face or something like that, you know? Like it would be a completely different story, but... You know, but like back then I would just be like, fucking put my hood on and fucking hide. You know, like so embarrassed. Right. Like, dude, in school it would be like you get out of your chair the wrong way and it makes like a weird like rub, like you rub your seat, it makes a weird like almost fart noise and everybody's looking at you like, did he fart? And I'm like, god damn it. Yes. It's just a chair, I swear.
Oh my god.
You're like texting your mom, come pick me up.
Bro.
Everybody thinks I shit myself.
Oh my God. I'd be in those moments all the time, like sitting in booths at restaurants where like, depending on the person, like it won't matter. But like, there's been some moments where like I'll be moving and then it's just like that. Or like, I can't make the sound,
it's weird. It's like almost a fart noise, but not really. But like if somebody just hears it, like it kind of sounds like it for a second. Like that's how it registers in their head. Was that a fart? Like.
Yeah, like a high frequency toot.
Like it happens at TikToks all the time. I'll see these TikToks and I'm like, why is this viral? And then like at the end, there's this weird noise and it kind of sounds like a fart. And all the comments are like, yo, did he bust ass? Like that's why it's going viral. It's because there was a noise while he was putting his phone down and it sounded like a fart. Or like this guy was like mixing. This guy was like, this sounded like a fart for sure. But this guy's like, if your macaroni don't look like this, and dude, it literally looks like bird food that you would give to like a baby bird. It looks gross.
Yeah, I'd see that one.
And at the end, you just hear this like this little noise, and like everybody in the comments is like, first of all, that looks like grits mixed with like pudding, not macaroni.
Oh
and
my
second
God.
of all, was that a fart? Like that's the comments. But yeah, it's crazy,
so
man. We care so much about what people think, but everybody just cares about themselves at the end of the day.
Everybody's in their own little world.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
like
shock.
what you did is like nothing to them after like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Dude, that was like
whatever's in the moment, then they're like, yeah, whatever, I got other shit I gotta do.
But like you could do something like you could trip and fart, right? And then next time you see those people, you're like, they gotta remember that fart thing. And they don't. That's the thing. Yeah. Like unless you like joke about it again, they probably don't remember it, Yeah. Like the 72-hour rule.
They have their own tripping and farting moment that they're worrying about, I'm sure. So it's just like
kind of fucked up.
Realizing that, but like I feel like when everyone like acknowledges that and you're like everything's okay, like everything's fine. That's when it's like we're in our best versions of ourselves. But
there's a book that I read that was kind of all about that whole concept. I think it was The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I think that was the book. That's a really good book.
A good one.
And then I think I listened to so many people were like summing up the book and like on YouTube they're just like, here's like breaking it down so like you can like basically read, like it's like you read the book but in like 20-30 minutes. The author did his own version of that. And so like every once in a while I'll listen to that and it'll remind me of stuff like that. And then it's like, oh yeah, like you just got to get out of your own head and then like life is like 10 times better because you spend way less time worrying about shit and actually doing shit that matters, That's huge. So, but
I like how we said we were gonna wrap it up like an hour ago.
I just looked and I'm like, fuck, dude, an hour and 40 minminutes, but it's the last episode, so going out with a bang, talking about
the title of Cool Ranch Corner at least.
Yeah.
It's the last episode, but we'll figure something out and get everything else rolling again.
Give us some name suggestions in the comments. Yeah. I know there's like a dozen people that I hear every once in a while. They're like, hey, when's the next episode? Or I love the episodes, this and that. So I apologize if there's like a small hiatus, but I promise it's not going to be like Creators Unite where it just kind of disappears all of a sudden. We're going to try and do something. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I mean, hopefully the whole gameplay content thing that we're talking about doing where we just kind of shoot the shit while we're playing video games is successful. So
and if you guys have any suggestions as well as like what you'd want us to talk about on the podcast too, I mean, give us ideas for that too.
If you like,
what is something you want to hear about,
That's a good idea.
Or maybe we should start doing that as like a weekly thing, and then things that you guys want us to talk about, we'll talk about in the next episode. Obviously, you'd have to leave them in the comments under the one, and then we'll get to it in the next episode. But that way, we're hitting stuff that you guys want to actually hear about.
Yeah, or maybe like you just want
comment could be the topic of the episode.
People who I have people like basically on a daily basis when I stream on Twitch come in and like ask for advice about something or ask a question about something that they don't know a lot about and they want to hear our 2 cents about it. You can do that here too,
especially since we're going to be limiting it to an hour-long episode. So I mean, we can get to some key things and boom, then we're done.
Somebody's gonna be like, Genie, my wife cheated on me and this and that. Like they're gonna want to know what you want to. Like, I don't know, bro. Just
get her some Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Just eat some Cheddar Bay biscuits, man. That always makes me feel better.
I don't know how I would be able to.
Right. Kyle's like, if I were you, I would just go out for a weekend and get plowed.
Damn right. Gotta get plowed every now and then, you know?
And they can just take it whatever way they want to with that one. It's all up in interpretation there. Hey, I ain't judging. You do you. Yeah, that's
ain't that kind of plowed, bud. Promise you that.
The first time I heard it, bro. That's the first thing I thought of, though. It's like, oh man.
What is the term then? So if you guys are like, if getting plowed means like getting fucked up,
you can say getting plastered, getting wrecked, to getting.
But like, what is it when you're like ripped. Getting plowed?
I feel like plowed. I don't know. Plowed is something
No, I mean like getting like sexual.
To me, it's the same. It's like I hear people saying they get railed or something like that. That sounds to me just like getting plowed. That sounds very similar.
Same shit.
Yeah.
All very. So many terms.
You know. Pipes, rails.
Yeah, my favorite term for it is still laying pipe. It sounds
laying pipe. Plumber laying pipe.
Have you guys seen the fuck, man, we're still going on. I'm sorry, I have to include this. Have you guys seen the guy
conclude this? I gotta piss.
There's a guy on TikTok who will do those things where like he's like the plumber and the chick's like, oh well, maybe when you're done with that you can clean my pipes, and he's just like, I mean, I guess I could check the pipes in the bathroom, you know, like, and
playing
she's totally
a whole video where he just plays it off.
Yeah, he has a whole like every TikTok or on this account that he does, it's like a different situation, you know, like and it's always like the chick's trying to seduce him, and he's just like, well, and she's like, oh well, maybe I could come to your place and clean your pipes, and he's just like, well, I'm a plumber, I could just fix my own pipes, you know, like like why would I do that? Like,
oh, I see that.
You're not a plumber. You know,
he's
like
playing off like he's not picking up the sexual.
Yeah, like, and then sometimes at the end she'll just be like, "You idiot! I'm asking if you want to have sex with me," and he's like, "Oh," or something. You know, that's how it ends. Like she has to be like blatant about it, but that's funny. I think that's funny. It's like the sayings and stuff, like laying pipe and getting railed and plowed. That's probably where I heard it, bro. That's why I think of that when you said that. But
funny.
Well. Cool Ranch Corner.
All right. Cool Ranch Corner, last episode. Yee.
Right.
Moving on to greener pastures, I guess. I don't
know. Yeah. We'll see you guys again at some point. Maybe with a Patreon or something. We'll see.
We have been talking about that too.
Cornered.
Everybody who's been watching every episode, because I know there's people who watch the whole thing. Like, we seriously appreciate you. That's the reason why we
appreciate it for sure.
You are the reason why we want to continue doing a podcast in the first place. So.
Exactly.
The people that like make comments like referencing funny moments that like happen like 2 hours in. Oh my god, I'm like, wow, that's cool.
I love when people stick around to the end. That's super cool.
So if you made it this far,
it means a lot.
Much love.
Maybe they should say a code word to let us know that they watched this far.
Yeah, if you got
plowed.
Yeah, so you got
plowed in the comments if you
skirting community guidelines there, but okay.
Nah, it'd be all right.
You know that little thing at the top that says, please be respectful and adhere to community guidelines.
What? Yes,
what's the title of this video? Is it like the end of Cool Ranch Corner ? And then parentheses, Kyle gets plowed.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about though for content. Like when we're making these gaming videos, it would be stuff like that. Like, you know, Kyle gets plowed.
Funny shit like that.
And it's just like a picture of you, and like Master Chief holding a snow shovel. Or like some bullshit like that.
Shit where people are gonna click on it, you know?
Yeah. But all right, if you made it this far,
comment plowed.
Plowed.
We appreciate you.
Plowed, yeah.
Love you guys.
And we'll see you in the next version of the podcast, whenever that is.
Yeah.
Peace. Have a good one.